Unless you implicate Tommy Eagan, you're going to prison. You're involved with a bad man. If Miguel Garcia finds out that you're f***ing his little sister, he might take you off the map before I do.
Now that my brother is working with Tommy, we need the Serbs on our side. Unless we're ready to go to war.
Now, approaching the home stretch for any Power season, we as the audience always look forward to one particular episode, Episode 8. As we all know, there are always a few episodes which are huge turning points for characters and the storyline in general. Episodes 5, 8 and 10 normally are episodes that provide fireworks, so with that being said, I'm expecting no different. Episode 8 will once again change the game in more ways than one. In terms of Tommy's ambition to take over the drug game, Diamond will find himself in a dilemma that has huge consequences, and law enforcement are going to come down hard after the death of Vargas. Now, intertwined is also a game of alliances and war, so in the thick of the action will be more manipulation from Claudia and Shanti, as well as retaliation from Markovich. So we are going to be running through a quick preview of all things episode 8 and what we can expect, running through all the exclusive images, clips and teasers. Now, the title of episode 8 is Dead Reckoning, and the synopsis reads, Tommy makes bold moves to connect the CBI directly with the cartel, as he hustles to stay ahead of many adversaries out for his blood. Meanwhile, Diamond is forced to make a decision that has dire consequences. Now, with the title being Dead Reckoning for episode 8, we can expect there to be a lot of calculated moves from everybody across the chessboard. In terms of the street and drug game, Dead Reckoning refers to calculating positions, estimating which direction characters are going, and more chess moves. For Tommy, this means making a move to introduce himself to Shay, because I don't think Miguel Garcia would give him that introduction. We've got him face to face with Shay at what looks to be a party, and no doubt, Tommy will use this as an opportunity to get in good with the Estrada cartel. But what does Miguel and his grandmother think about this? I don't think they're going to be too happy. Miguel's grandmother is someone who is very familiar with Tommy's game, and she called it way back in episode 2. She told Miguel to keep an eye on Tommy, and rightfully so. She's someone who has a lot of wisdom when it comes to the street game, because she's been there and seen it all with Miguel's grandfather. He took one eye off the ball and everything began to crumble. So she's there as a mentor and to provide guidance so Miguel doesn't suffer the same fate. Unfortunately for him, he's never come up against someone like Tommy, and just wait until he finds out he made a deal with the DSDs. Because Miguel was planning to make a move on the Serbs' territory, but Tommy's been 3 moves ahead of him at every single turn. He's united all of these crews in a huge coalition, and he's managed to do something Miguel couldn't, which I do think Shay will be impressed with. Now, elsewhere with the Garcias, the relationship between Miguel and Maria really will start to face some stern tests. We all know Maria's love for Tommy is real, and even though Maria and Miguel have had disagreements in recent times, they're still family. But just how far is Maria willing to go for someone who actually wants a different life herself? Is she willing to be a ride or die for Tommy and be willing to help him achieve his end goal of becoming the king of Chicago? Because when push comes to shove, the Garcias are definitely next on Tommy's hit list. For him to become the sole connect of Chicago under Shay, he's gonna have to take the Garcias out. But will Maria be on board? Now, this also brings me on to law enforcement and Stacy Marx's move following Vargas' death. She's not going to be happy and she is going to be on a mission. We're going to see her coming down hard on Vic, coming face to face with Tommy, and also questioning Maria. We're going to see her turning up at Maria's doorstep and questioning whether she really knows who Tommy Eagan is, and I don't think she does. I mentioned in my trailer breakdown, there's a lot that went down in New York that Maria isn't aware of, although she does accept the life that he lives. Now, will that be enough to sway or scare Maria enough to talk? In my opinion, I don't think so. She comes from a family who has been in the drug game for many years, and I think she knows the rules. Although having said that, when your life is in danger and you're in a situation where your back is against the wall, then sometimes we have seen characters talk to law enforcement, making deals, becoming CIs or snitch. But for Maria, I don't think we're quite at that stage yet, and I think she will stay strong for now. Now, we're also going to see her coming face to face with Tommy and her trying to ruffle his feathers. Unfortunately for Stacy Marx, she's up against a seasoned criminal who won't be intimidated one bit by her show of force. He's faced and beat law enforcement before in New York, who also tried to attack through Holly. Although there is one huge difference. Tommy's in a relationship with Maria, which Marx can expose for her own benefit, but would she really go there? I think she would. I really do think so, especially after Vargas' death. So can Tommy continue to stay 3 steps ahead? Especially with him having a CI embedded in his organization, who we all know is Vic Flynn. Stacy Marx has been giving serious Blanca Rodriguez vibes in these last few episodes, and it is going to continue. Detective Vargas' death is only going to rile her up further, and she's going to ask Vic to implicate Tommy, otherwise he's going to prison. So how does Vic play this? Because I just don't see a way out for him at this moment in time. He's got Stacy Marx coming at him from one direction with a threat of life in prison, and he's embedded himself as a CI into the CBI, and he knows what Tommy will do when he finds out. So what does Vic do? I think the only option he has is to run. But even then, Tommy will never let this slide and he will catch up to eventually, so Vic really is in a tough spot. Now, one way in which he will try and stay ahead is by throwing Tommy down the wrong direction. In the trailer we hear him telling Tommy maybe it was Claudia and Jannard who sent the feds down their direction, but again, this will only buy him a bit of time, so let's see what Vic's next move is.
We in with Claudia and the Serbs.
Jannard, you just denied that shit.
No, it was my
Right to
deal.
my
Jannard
face.
didn't even know. It was all on me.
You? Why you?
I got it going, figured I could give Claudia over to you as a peace offer.
Now, one relationship that has started to grow is between Claudia and Shanti. Now, I did say that they will make one dangerous team together, and I do think they will, although we do need to remember, these are two characters who are snakes, so I do think there could be a bit of backstabbing at some point in the future, although in the short term, they're toasting to their partnership. A partnership with Shanti is being very honest to Tommy about at his place, but why tell Tommy the truth? I broke this down earlier in the week and said there is no doubt going to be a clever use of Law 12 from the 48 Laws of Power, using selective honesty to disarm your enemy. She's building trust by being honest and transparent, but we all know her endgame. When the time's right, she will pounce on the CBI. Now, one thing that did come from this exclusive clip was Shanti said she was in business with Claudia and the Serbs, so it does seem like the Serbs are now in on their business, which does benefit all. If you think about it this way, Claudia and Shanti make a good business team. Claudia has the product and Shanti is the distro, but if they were ever to get into a war, then in comes the Serbian network. So speaking of wars, as Tommy starts to expand his territory and fill the void left by the Serbs, we're going to see them retaliate. We're going to see the Serbs come in with a hell of a lot of gunfire, with Tommy, Vic and Jannard all holding it down against Merkovich and his men. But one question I raised earlier in the week was where was Diamond? And I think we have our answer. I think ever since Gianna and Leon came into Diamond's life, he's been pulled in a different direction. He's been mentoring Leon and him and Gianna have been getting closer. But this is where it starts to get a little dark for Diamond's story. The synopsis teases that we will see dire consequences, and I think we all know who that is. It's either Gianna or Leon, and I'm leaning very much towards Leon. Leon is the one person who he's been mentoring, and actually kind of vice versa when we saw Leon helping Diamond with his speech. They've got a very much a father and son type of relationship, but if he is taken away from Diamond and Gianna, then the question I guess we have to ask is, what's next for Diamond? Does it fuel him to maybe want to leave the drug game behind, or will this just unleash Diamond and push him even further into a dark corner? That's the major question when it comes to Diamond and the aftermath of those dire consequences, whether it be Leon or Gianna, or maybe even both, although I am leaning towards Leon. Now, elsewhere it does seem like we are going to see the return of Kate Eagan, and I don't think she's going to be doing too great. We all know she relapsed after JP and Tommy made it sound like they killed D-Mac, and the alcohol besides her shows she's back to her old ways. But let's see what comes out of this conversation between Kate and JP. And with that being said, that's a breakdown of the exclusive clips and images for Force Season 2, Episode 8. An episode that will start to shift the drug game in more ways than one. While Tommy's making business moves and facing chaos with the Serbs, Shanti and Claudia will be lurking in the background trying to take advantage. Law enforcement are going to come down hard from every single angle, and Diamond is about to face some dire consequences, which I think we all know who that will be. But drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.